fear and guilt washing over him in equal measures. He stopped the van in a passing place about half a mile down the road, exited his vehicle, and vomited violently at the side of the road. His friend jumped out too. "What the hell happened?" "It was your fault. You told me to put my bloody foot down." He wiped his mouth with his sleeve and spat more foul-tasting bile into the roadside. Their angry words were stilled by the sudden, unmistakable sound of an explosion. Turning, they looked back. Plumes of black smoke were already belching into the sky, the perfect summer day marred by the ugliness of the crash. The pair were as sure as they could be that no one else witnessed the incident. It all happened so quickly that any passing vehicle would barely have time to register their mistake, least of all remember their number plate. As other vehicles stopped, their occupants climbing out to stare impotently over the edge of the burning wreckage, the youths jumped back into their van and drove away. The two made a pact never to speak of the incident again, and the only other people who knew the truth were by then forever silent. Part 1. The Mother. Chapter 1. Alice Roberts rolled over in bed, surprised to find an empty space at her side. It was only 7 a.m., but already Tom was up. She supposed the habits of a lifetime were hard to break, and wondered, not for the first time, if her husband would find adjusting to retirement challenging. Tom was such an active man, never still, his body always in motion. The chance of more sleep was inviting, but proved impossible. Thoughts of the day ahead and the many tasks awaiting her filled Alice's mind. There were still several finishing touches she wished to make to complete their new home, a task she relished and would enjoy. As Alice pushed the duvet back and padded to the ensuite for a shower, a somewhat disorientated feeling washed over her. Perhaps she'd consumed too much wine the evening before. She couldn't remember, but it would come back to her when she was fully awake and her head stopped throbbing. Silence hung heavily in the house. Only the unfamiliar plumbing noises interrupted the stillness, sounds to which Alice was becoming accustomed, and which barely registered in her consciousness. It was strange how every house created its peculiar noises, creaks and groans, which you ceased to notice over time. Tom's voice, singing along to the radio, would have been welcome, but he must have taken Barney for a walk. It was such a lovely morning, and he'd probably be back by the time Alice showered and dressed. 20 minutes later, with the kettle full and starting to boil, Alice gazed from the kitchen window for signs of her husband's return. There was something niggling at the back of her mind, something she and Tom wanted to discuss with their daughter Rachel, but Alice couldn't recall what it was. Snatches of a half-finished conversation drifted into her head, and then out again, but the details eluded her. Was it something to do with them moving here? No, not that. Alice's mind felt quite woolly. She hated being unable to remember. Tom would remind her when he came home. She did feel a little strange this morning. Perhaps the stress of the recent move was catching up with her. The view from the kitchen window was nothing short of spectacular. Open countryside stretched over the lush green Eden Valley, and a narrow wooded path offered a pretty circular route of about 2 miles. It was perfect for walking their little mongrel dog and for keeping them fit. It was this view and the near-perfect situation of Melkinthorpe which initially attracted them to the cottage. The village, or perhaps it was best described as a hamlet, was home to a popular garden centre and tea rooms, as well as a smattering of chocolate box cottages. The proximity of the Lake District and the sprawling gardens and woodland of nearby Lowther